everybody. Good evening. My name is Natalie Perez. I am one of the admissions counselors here at New Mexico Military Institute, better known as NMMI. There are some cadets who are joining us today to talk about our high school program and our junior college program. Just so everybody knows, we are currently accepting applications for both programs through December 9th for the spring semester. And we're also accepting applications for the fall 2023 semester. So tonight, what we're going to talk about are some things that our students have gone through, some experiences that they've gone through with academics, extracurriculars, and some advice that they would like to share. All of our cadets tonight have gone through both the high school program and are currently in our junior college program. They will talk about their experiences, so I will have them introduce themselves, tell us, what year they're in, where they're from, and something that they enjoy about NMMI. So Cadet Swope, I will start with you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cadet Swope. I've been here for exactly 4 years. I'm currently on my 5th year, and I'm from Austin, Texas, born and raised here. And one thing I just really like about being at NMMI is just all the friends you make and the interactions you get.
So, Cadet Walker, can you tell us about yourself, please?
Hello, everyone. I'm Cadet Walker. This is my 5th year at NMMI. I'm from Roswell, New Mexico, and my favorite thing about the school would have to be the structure of it.
Great, thank you. Cadet Amaya, would you please let us know a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Cadet Amaya. I'm from Brea, California. It's my 3rd year here, and I'm a college freshman. The one thing that I really love about NMMI is the academic program has to be my favorite.
Thank you. So tonight we want things to be interactive. Please send us your questions about NMMI, all the things you're curious about and want to know about. You can ask us on social media using hashtag AskNMMI. Post questions on the YouTube live, or you can snap us at NMMI Life. We want you to get to know our students and our school and see what they've lived firsthand. So let's begin with Cadet Swope. When you first started looking for an option for high school, why did you and your family decide to look at NMMI?
So I think one of the main reasons that me and my family wanted to attend NMMI was my mother actually was an alumni here in 1980 and 1981. So she had gone to this school and she really enjoyed this school. And when I was looking for a better high school to go to, she recommended this place for me. She really wanted me to go take a tour and see what it looks like. And that's kind of how I first got interested in this school. And that's how I decided, when I first came here, it's like, this is the place I'm going to go.
Great. Cadet Amaya, could you tell us a little bit about your experience in choosing a high school and kind of what made you decide to come to NMMI?
Yeah, I didn't start out in the NMMI. I started in a public school, but as junior year started, I realized that public school wasn't the one for me. And I really wanted a more structured place that really focused on your academics. So my sister went here for her junior college experience. So I knew this school by that. And her experience of being in a structured place really roped me into this kind of school.
Great. Cadet Walker, would you please share with us your experience in looking at high schools?
So I have 3 older sisters, and they all just came here, and then I'm the last one to come. But my parents just wanted us all to get a better education because the schools here in Roswell don't have or don't offer the same education as NMMI does.
Great. So Cadet Amaya, when you first came to campus, what were your first impressions in seeing the campus and seeing the buildings and just the environment here?
I think at first it actually intimidated me with all the like the cadets and their uniforms and everything like that. But I really liked the buildings and how they looked. They're really historical. But after I got to know my cadre and everything like that, I realized that it wasn't as scary as it seems. And from there, it was pretty easy to make new friends and fit into this environment.
Cadet Swope, can you tell us a little bit about your first impressions on campus, or did you hear a lot from your mom and her experience here?
I actually didn't hear anything really from my mom. My mom told me just like a little bit about it, but my first real impression was actually coming to the school for the very first time on one of these like big tours. And first coming here, it was kind of weird because when you're walking with your mom's just telling you about all the cool places that she would like to go and all the memories that she had here. And it really packs down onto me and just thinking about that. Probably one of the first impressions I had was the NMMI chapel. That was the first places where they used to have like the open house meetings and stuff. And I think looking at the chapel and just looking at the overall environment and all the Gothic historical structures really just set me off. And watching the cadets march off to um, lunch for the first time, that really was just like really cool to watch and how they structured that.
Yeah, the chapel sure does make an impression with the stained glass in the back. And since you mentioned it, I do want to add that we have an open house coming up on November 11th. We have that one scheduled as well as the one for December 10th. So if anybody would like to attend those events, our registration is on our website. You go to www.nmmi.edu or just Google New Mexico Military Institute. It should be the first link that pops up, and follow the instructions to visit us and register for those links. Or of course, you can call our office and we'll help you get through that. So Cadet Walker, when you were initially thinking about where you wanted to go to school, what were your thoughts about first coming to a school like NMMI with the military structure and the academic structure that's, different from a public school setting?
At first I was kind of iffy about it because like you think it's a military school. And all my other friends were going to the different high schools here in Roswell. But then once I got here, it was like I saw it as a better opportunity to come here, and it wasn't so bad after all.
Great. Cadet Amaya, what did you see as the biggest advantage when you decided to attend NMMI?
Definitely the academics, because they were much more advanced from when my public school was at. Their syllabuses and the structure of the class was way harder. So once you get into the rhythm of learning in that high of a education within the school, it advances you a lot in just your normal day life of education.
And what about you, Swope, since you started here as a high school freshman, when you were that age, kind of what were you thinking would be a great advantage to coming to NMMI versus a school at home?
I think for me, it was probably just, I felt more mature coming here as a high schooler. I felt like, everything is more structured. It teaches you basically the basic skills of how to schedule your time effectively, how to, do tasks effectively. It really teaches you a lot in just the real life scenario. And I feel like I got a head start personally here in high school, and it really helped me prepare a lot for when I came back to college.
Great. So one of the questions that came up through our YouTube live chat is NMMI a school for kids with behavioral issues? So through our admissions process, we do ask for some background of the student. Now, there is no black or white definition of behavioral issues. Each student is individual and each student is looked at as an individual when applying. So every case is different, but overall, the students that come to NMMI are students that are striving for the best, that are looking for maybe a military career, or they are wanting to go to a Ivy League university after high school. Each student has their own specific goal, and they know NMMI can prepare them in more than just academics. So students who attend here are here because they want to be and because they are trying to achieve something higher in life. So segueing into the next question, Cadet Walker, what would you say were your biggest concerns when deciding to attend NMMI and getting ready to move to campus?
My biggest concern would probably be when I could go home, because I'd say I'm like a very much of a homebound person, so I want to know when I'm able to leave. That was the biggest one, and also when I would have time to just like have time to myself. So those are the big two ones.
Great. And Cadet Amaya, can you answer that question as well? What were your biggest concerns in getting ready to move to campus?
I guess one of the big ones is how males and females are regulated, because for me, I think that is a very important thing about the safety of the female cadets. But once I got here, I realized that especially the TLAs, the adults that are in charge of the troops, are very they take that stuff very seriously. So it reassured me.
Great. And Cadet Swope, can you tell us a little bit about your biggest concerns moving to campus?
I would probably have to say food. I think food was probably my biggest concern. I was really worried about what the food was going to be like, how the food was going to be, if I was going to like the food. Because I feel like starting out before I came into high schooler, I was a very picky person myself about food, and I was like really nervous. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna be able to eat food. I'm gonna be too picky, and I think that was probably one of my major concerns. But I think Nini actually helped me get out of my pickiness a little bit, and I actually try more foods now than I did back when I was in middle school.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the food situation, do you get fed, once, twice?
You want to take that?
No, it's okay.
I would say so on a regular weekly basis, that's Monday through Friday. We eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then after dinner we have our study hall time, and then after study hall time we have what's called a fourth meal, where you get to go back to the mess hall and have like a little late night snack if you want to. So technically we get fed like 4 times a day. And then on Sundays, we have 2 meals. One, which is in the morning, that's from 9 a.m. to 12, which is a brunch scenario. So they serve from 9 to 12, and then they serve again for dinner.
Great. Cadet Amaya, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, I was gonna say that sometimes there are repeats, but majority of the time they don't repeat their food a lot. They have an assortment where you won't get tired of the same thing so easily.
And I know salads are offered, a fruit bar, sandwiches, along with the main meal of, whether it be the other day I went and it was corn dogs, right? Which I know is always a favorite. What have been some of your favorite meals, Cadet Walker?
I do salads quite a bit, but I also like when they have chicken strips. Those are pretty good days. Yeah, or when they're serving like little small potatoes, those are pretty good.
Great. Cadet Amaya, can you tell me a little bit of what kind of advice would you share with another student about making the adjustment of going from home to campus where they have a little bit more independence?
I think it would definitely time management. Time management is a really big thing because you have family and friends that you leave. And if you don't make time for them, NIMI can get very lonely, especially if you get homesick. So you could talk to your friends at home and it will prevent you from getting homesick so easily, which is kind of a really big thing since I live in California. So
What about you, Cadet Swope? You're from Texas. What kind of advice would you share with students in making those living adjustments?
Whenever you first start out, there's you make a lot of new friends very quickly when you first start out in the institute. You're very nervous, but it's a very interactive institute, I would say. You're always doing something, you're always going to be doing something with a new cadet, and you're always going to be learning new people, whether that's somebody back home from Texas or somebody that's like halfway across the world. So they're always having you do something. They're always making sure that you're busy. And then if you ever do get homesick or need to talk to somebody, you have cadets there that you can talk to. You have friends you can talk to. You have counselors you can talk to, and then you can always call back home if you need to.
Great. So, Cadet Amaya, can you tell us about holidays? Do cadets get to go home for holidays?
yes, they do. It depends just kind of your situation. Of course, every cadet gets to go home. We all have our breaks. It just depends if you do want to go back to your house or not. But yes, cadets do have the resources to go back home. NEMI provides a bus to Albuquerque to go on a plane if Albuquerque planes are cheaper than Roswell planes. But also, if you're flying from Roswell, they also provide a bus to the Roswell airport as well. So there is a lot of resources for you to get back home. They do not just leave you at the school.
Yeah, we have 3 major breaks. Our winter break actually starts the day before Thanksgiving. So cadets have essentially about 6 weeks of a break between semesters, our fall and spring semester. There's also a week of spring break in March, and then summer break that is at the end of the full academic year. Within the break, Cadet Walker, can you talk a little bit about maybe going home for the weekend? Since you are from Roswell, you're from here. How do furloughs work?
So there's mini furloughs and there's just regular furloughs. Mini furloughs, you're able to leave Saturday around noon until Sunday at 5. And then for full furloughs, you're able to put in and request one, and you can leave Friday after school or whenever your last class ends until Sunday Sunday at 5.
Great. And then to piggyback off of that, Cadet Swope, do cadets get to wear civilian clothes on weekend?
I think it just depends if you're signed out or not. So like Tessa was saying, if you are signed out on a full furlough, then you can change into civilian clothes and go out with some of your friends, or go back to your house if you're in state. But usually on campus, you are required to be in a uniform that is provided.
Great. So before we continue with some more questions, I want to remind everybody that we are accepting applications for the spring 23 and fall 23 semester. You can find our application online. Again, you go to our website, and under the admissions tab, you'll see apply now. You follow the prompts and the application is free. And once submitted, one of our admissions counselors will contact you and guide you through the entire admissions process. Our website also has an explanation of what to expect from the admissions process, as well as links to different information about our programs, like high school and junior college. And then if you want to visit our campus, whether that's through the open house event I mentioned earlier on November 11th and December 10th, but also if you are wanting to come to campus for a tour, not on one of those days. We hold tours Monday through Friday from 8 to 2. So moving on, about, talking about the admissions process here at NMMI, Cadet Swope, can you share with students and parents how the application process was for you? What kind of advice would you give them for that application process to go smoothly?
That's a really good question. I think for the application process that I had to go through is when I first came here during the open house, we had a big presentation at the NMMI chapel. And then I remember I had to go into one of the academic buildings to go take a math placement test because I still wasn't in high school yet. So I remember having to go take the application or the placement test, sorry, for that. And then I remember just, going and touring around the school a lot. But I think that was kind of the most application process for me. When it comes to the rest of the stuff, when it's like getting all your stuff here on campus, a lot of that is just they give you like a really good list of what you should bring. And I think the most important part is just, not being like overly stressed about it and just try to go through it as smoothly as possible.
Yes, as Cadet Swope mentioned, one of the requirements for our high school applicants is for them to take a math placement test as well as do an interview. That math placement test helps us gauge where a student might be mathematically, and the interview lets us know a little bit about the student so that we get to know them more. The interview is not extensive. It asks about the student themselves, what their opinions are, what they want to do after high school. And for our college students, we do ask them to fill out a questionnaire, but they do not require a test or interview. So switching to being on campus and the different aspects of life at NMMI, Cadet Amaya, when you first arrived on campus, how long did it really take you to start making friends and feeling comfortable being away from home?
I've never been much of a homebody, so it took me not that much time to get used to not being home. On the other hand, though, I do contradict that with I'm not an outgoing person per se. I'm very shy. So I think it took me like, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks to really have like really good friends. But when you are a recruit at training or a rat, you do have rat buddies that you communicate with and have interactions with on a daily. And through that rat buddy system, I was able to make friends pretty quickly.
Great. Cadet Walker, can you tell us a little bit about, how long was it before you started feeling comfortable on post?
Well, I was definitely fortunate to have my 2 older sisters here, so they're always a familiar face to see. I'm also an I do all sports, so track and cross country and swim. So when I would go to those, I would also make some friends there. And then I ended up just making one friend that she would do all the sports with me, so I always had her by my side.
Cadet Walker, can you tell us a little bit about what a typical day at NMMI is like?
So a typical day, Monday through Friday, there's formation at 6:45, and that's in the morning. And then we all march to breakfast. And then from breakfast, you're able to eat or you can go back to your room. And then first period will start at 7:50. And then the last period is at 3:30. And there's also morning tutoring at 7:15. So if a student ever needs help, you can just go into your teacher and they're more than happy to help you. And then after school at 3:30 to about 5 is when the sports happen. So if you're ever in season sport, you can go to practice and then from practice go to dinner, which is at 5:30. And then after dinner, we have formation at 6:45, and that's just accountability to make sure that we know where everybody is. And then after accountability from 7 to 9, we have night study hall. So that gives students a time to catch up on their homework and get ready for the next day. And then from 9 to 9:30 is when we have, or sorry, from 9:30 to 10 is when it's more like personal time and you're able to go to sleep, clean your room, or just catch up on family, whatever you need to do.
Awesome. So this question will be for all of you. We'll start with you, Cadet Swope. Were you overwhelmed by the physical fitness requirements that NMMI has?
Yes, I think I was kind of at first very overwhelmed by it. When you first come in here, they're, trying to teach you everything, but it's kind of like a slow process, but it's a steady process of what they're trying to teach you. And then, just waking up early in the morning when I first came here and doing exercises. And then at night, we used to go out as an entire corps and do more exercises like that. And at first, it was overwhelming, but it was also, again, a challenge that I thought was a good challenge and very fun for me when I first came here. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed taking on those challenges. And, we still have PT now, and PT is still doing like pretty good. We're still having cadets do like exercises and making sure they're staying fit.
Cadet Walker, can you tell us a little bit about what you felt about the physical fitness requirements NMMI has?
As a rat, it was kind of challenging because they were wanting us to do push-ups when we first got here, and I'm terrible at push-ups. They would have us run sometimes, do little small things. But since I'm a year-round athlete, I got out of more of like the PT part of it, so I never really got to experience how it is on that side rather than just in my sports.
And Cadet Amaya, can you add anything?
For me personally, I don't think it was very overwhelming. I was an ex-cross country runner when I did just come in, so I was used to a lot more than I am now. But when I first came in, it was more exciting and finally being able to have adrenaline pumping rather than just being tired throughout the day at night during rep PT. That was a really fun experience because everyone's just out there working out and everyone's adrenaline's pumping and we're all just getting the energy out as kind of one. And that was honestly a really fun experience.
So our goal at NMMI is to provide our students with the support they need to succeed in our challenging academic environment. Cadet Walker, can you tell us some ways that you have felt your teachers and staff members offered help and supported you throughout your years here?
Teachers are always very helpful. If you ever ask them, can I come in for tutoring? They're always very encouraging on wanting to help you and succeed. A lot of my teachers always are saying come in for tutoring and that they don't want us to fail. And a lot of my teachers as well make sure that we understand the concept of what they're teaching, and they teach at a good enough pace to where everyone understands and to where they know that what they need to keep teaching and what they can come back on.
Great. Cadet Swope, can you add anything to that?
So moving aside from the teacher aspect and more into the staff, here at NMMI, we have what's called a TLA. I don't know if anyone in the chat knows exactly what the TLA stands for, but it basically stands for Troop Leadership Advisor. And they're basically the adults and they're basically the people who are watching over us while we're at the Institute. And anytime we need to go to them for something, they're always there to help us. And they're just kind of like the parent that's watching over us that, if we do something bad, they're going to, punish us with something. And it's not like they're not gonna spank us because they can't do that, but I'm saying, but you know, they're always there watching you and they're always trying to help you grow as a person. And, you know, I think at first, lots of people don't like the troop leadership advisors when they first come here because they think they're just trying to punish them. But really in the future, you know, you kind of start learning it's like why they're doing these things for you.
Yeah, our Commandant's office really covers all of the NMMI life outside of academics. So they can work with students, you know, coming in on hygiene, on time management, on what it is to be an adult here at NMMI. Cadet Amaya, can you talk a little bit about the support you receive from your academic advisor?
My academic advisor has helped me a lot. I told her that I would like to major in accounting, and she was there throughout the whole process of what classes I do have to take to fulfill that requirement, how to take them, and when is it the best time to take them. She was there for a lot of my questions regarding classes in my spare time and everything like that. The counselors here, they're really helpful, genuine people, and they do want you to succeed and they do want the best for you.
Cadet Walker, what kind of opportunities did you have to learn leadership skills?
I have to say, just getting out of that bubble. I think NMMI changes everyone, whether it's or NMMI changes everyone in a good way. Even if you're an introvert, I think it at some point in time you're going to come out of that bubble. So I think that that's what the leadership does, is it kind of pushes you to want to be a higher rank than your friend, or just overcome that bar that you have for yourself of just being an introvert. So it's gets you over that.
Can you tell us a little bit about what, I guess, duties you have in specific leadership roles? What kind of tasks are, you know, put on your plate as a cadet leader?
So yeah, it just kind of depends on like what your position is. So the RC obviously will be in charge of the whole school. You also have just a regular squad leader, so they're in charge of 9 people, and they just usually make sure if they're there and accountable. Then you have the rat. They don't really have anything, like they have their duties, but they don't have really any leadership for anyone else. After you turn a rat, you're a private, and that's not really, you don't really have any leadership there either, but I mean, you can just make sure that people are doing their duties. So yeah, it just kind of depends on what you're, as you go up, the more people you have to take care of.
Yeah, awesome. Cadet Maya, you know, thinking about your time as a high schooler, now a junior college student, was there a reason you decided to continue going through the junior college program?
I think it was just mainly about taking as many classes as I could at NMMI for a cheaper price, because universities nowadays are so expensive. And so NMMI is quite affordable compared to all the other universities. And so I think it's a win-win with NMMI, as in you get a lot of credits with your NMMI classes, but then also you don't get them as expensive as like any university that is in the United States, because most of the universities are very expensive. And then by the time you do get out of NMMI junior college, then you do only 2 years if you only want your bachelor's, and you spend less time in a big university.
Awesome. I did want to add that when a student graduates from our high school program, they receive in-state tuition as a junior college student. So adding on to that comment that Cadet Amaya made about affordability, our standard of academics is very high. We are very comparable to other military institutes that have also a great reputation, but are double the costs. So thank you, Cadet Amaya, for sharing with us. Cadet Swope. Can you tell me a little bit about the options for clubs and extracurricular activities? Are you
Oh,
involved in any clubs or extracurricular activities?
yeah, I am involved in some extracurricular activities. NMMI has a bunch of extracurricular activities. We don't have as much as we do back then. A lot of questions I get asked about extracurricular activities were like the rodeos and the horses. Sadly, we don't have those anymore, so I hate to burst some people's bubbles about that, but yeah, we no longer have like those. We used to have some other clubs, but right now we currently have an aviation club. We have um, we have a ski club, so there's a ski club that will take you out and go skiing. We have a gamers club that does like electronic sports like that. There's a social security, I believe, club, and that's all about kind of like hacking and just kind of like online stuff. Really interesting. But the club that I'm currently at right now is a paintball club. Um, Most people are just like, "Oh my goodness, you do paintball?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I get socked for a living." So yeah, paintball club is a lot of fun. I try to bring it out with the rest of the Corps cadets. I try to get out everyone out there to just go out there and have a blast. Basically, my job is just to make sure everyone's having fun and safe. A lot of times, especially during COVID, we were actually trapped here on campus and we couldn't really get out. But paintball was kind of a way out for everybody because everyone could go out, have fun, and really just get away from being inside the campus and just like actually going out and having fun, not having to worry about, your cadre, not having to worry about school. And they just got out there and just, had a blast.
And being in paintball club, do you need to provide your own equipment?
No, you don't have to provide any equipment at all. Luckily, we have all the equipment you need, whether that's a face mask, whether that's your own paintball gun, vest, air tanks. We provide it all for you. And then we have a giant obstacle course with even the big inflatables that some people might have seen. I don't know. But yeah, we basically use that. And then we try to get cadets out there as much as possible.
Awesome. And Cadet Walker, besides the clubs that Cadet Swope mentioned, like cybersecurity and paintball and aviation, are you part of any other club that wasn't mentioned?
I'm part of the pentathlon club. It's a pretty small club, but it's more of like a sport club. It's fencing, shooting, running, horseback riding, and I forgot the other one, but it's 5 sports. Yeah, so that's the one I'm part of, but nothing else.
Awesome. And I hear the coach for pentathlete is very accomplished, right?
Yes, sure.
Great. So again, I'd like just to remind all our viewers with us tonight that we are accepting applications. So as you're hearing everything, please enter any questions you might have, anything you're curious about. You can post them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, using hashtag NMMI. Or of course, you can use the YouTube chat and snap us at NMMI Life. Cadet Amaya, based on your experience attending NMMI for high school, what do you think some of the main benefits are for students versus a traditional high school?
Traditional high schools typically do not offer college classes, but if you do go to NMMI, you are able to take college classes and they do count for college credit. So once you get transferred over to another school, or if you do continue your NMMI career into college too, that will take some of the credits off of your present schedule if you are a junior college. I personally took around 9 credits of college classes, and now I don't have to take 4 more classes than I would typically have to do in a semester. So that's a very big benefit. So your schedule does free up and you have more time to do whatever you want. If you want to go take a nap or, go get snacks or something like that, you have more free time to do something that you want.
Great. Cadet Walker, while you were in high school, you likely faced some challenges during your high school times, and I'm sure now. Can you tell me about a time when you dealt with a challenging situation and how you kind of figured how to overcome it?
I'd say the biggest challenge I faced was during COVID, since we were all restricted to post. It was just really hard that we couldn't leave since I always like going home all the time. But I mean, I just had to keep telling myself, take it a day at a time, and it wasn't going to be like that forever. So that was the biggest one for me.
Okay. Cadet Swope, can you share with us a little bit of a challenging situation you had and how you figured a way out of it or to overcome it?
I think probably some of the challenges that I had to overcome was just some of the basic life things here at NMMI. Especially when you come here for a super long time. If you're coming here for like four years, some of the challenges are you kind of get in a repetition of some everyday life. And it's nice to have some repetition, but at the same time, the doing the same thing every single day can get a little tiring. And so sometimes you just have to find some things for yourself to do and just have something that you really like to do a lot and then make time for yourself in order to do that, to take some time away from some core and just kind of take a break from that because it can get really tiring at points.
Okay, and to follow up on that, Cadet Swope, what kind of made you decide to continue at NMMI for your junior college education?
I think probably one of the biggest things was financial. Financial was always a big part in any colleges that you want to apply to. And coming back, I knew that if I came back for 6 years and finished out, if you're a 6-year cadet, you do get I think it's a $5,000 check. I believe it is. I could be wrong on that. Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, so financials was a big thing. And also, it's easier coming back because you already, you know what's going to be happening, kind of like the same lifestyle. And once you kind of get, used to it, it's a lot easier to just kind of do the same thing over and over again. But like I said earlier, it can be difficult. So sometimes you do have to find some time away. But, once you get it down, then, life can be easier.
Yes, awesome. Along those same lines, what are some positive changes that your families and friends started to see after you had been at NMMI for a while, Cadet Amaya?
Definitely the independence that I have, because when I was at home, I definitely did depend on my parents with pretty much everything and anything. But once I came to an MMI, my schedule just got so compact and everything like that that I didn't time manage, and I eventually didn't talk to my parents as much as I would like. And so that kind of created a independence that I didn't have once I got home. So once I did leave and then come back home, they realized that I was able to take on a lot more with myself than I was able to before I left.
Great. Cadet Swope, can you tell us a little bit about maybe different positive changes your family and friends saw in you after being at NMMI for a while?
Yeah, I think after probably my first year, a lot of my friends saw a lot of changes in me because I remember one of the first things I did was I visited my old middle school friends who are all now in high school, and just hanging around them, you just see a personal change in yourself and you just feel different. You don't feel like the same person that you were, 2 months ago or 3 months ago, how long it was. You feel like a different person. And I think my family noticed that too, and they noticed what it affected me mostly. I was just a more productive person. I was just always interactive more. I was always more calm with my family. And I got along with my family a lot more because I believe NMMI helped me with that.
Great. Cadet Walker, as you probably know, with having siblings come through and now you're coming through NMMI, you've heard that, you make lifelong friendships and those friendships are really strong. Can you tell us a little bit about the friendships that you have made and developed while you're here?
Yeah, well, I have a very small bubble, but the really close friends that I have make, I know that I will continue to keep a connection with them. My best friend just went off to college, so I'm always calling her up and telling her about everything that's changed at the school. And then I also have one here currently, so it's good to just always have someone there next to me.
Cadet Amaya, can you tell us a little bit about the friendships you've made here?
My friendships, I created really close ones, really close ones. They're kind of my support system now. We support each other. It is always nice to have somebody by your side, especially here, because even though there is a lot of students here, you do have the capability to become a lonely person. So having a really close friend all the time over here is easier than you might think to make, and also it's a really good thing to have.
Yeah, definitely. Cadet Swope, can you add anything to that, please?
Yeah, I've made a lot of friends since I was here at NMMI. Actually, one of my best friend he's not even from the United States. He's actually from Thailand, and he's probably one of my best friends that I've had here so far. I've made other friends. Some of them are still here. Some of them have left the campus because they wanted to go off and do other pursuits. But I still, have made a lot of friends here, and I've met a lot of people from like different places of the world, and some relationships you still keep in touch, and then some that you don't really like talk to as much anymore, but you still have like a lot of core main friends that I still text every day when I'm here. I still try to check up on them, and then even when you come back, even after I'm gone, even when I want to come back, I'm still gonna recognize like so many people from when I came here. It's always just a fun experience.
Yeah, great. Cadet Walker, can you tell me a little bit about why you decided to stay at NMMI for junior college?
There was two big reasons why I stayed. The biggest one was because I got a scholarship for running, so I run for the Bronco cross country. And then the second reason is I just thought I needed more time to think about exactly what I wanted to do after I graduated high school. So I figured if I came to NMMI, then it would give me, if I stay for the 2 years, it would definitely give me enough time to know where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do.
Great. And going right into that, Cadet Amaya, can you tell us a little bit about your plans after you leave NMMI?
My plans are definitely, I don't know if I would like to go home yet or not, but my plan is to attend a university and to finish out my bachelor's degree in accounting, because that is my dream career for now. So yeah, it's kind of my plan is just to finish my bachelor's in accounting and just go from there.
Great. Cadet Swope, can you tell us a little bit about your plans after NMMI?
So my plans after NMMI is basically I wanted to do the ROTC program, which is the early commissioning program, and join the Army Guard, which is basically join the Guard, and you go and stay in state and you still get paid and all that. And then also I want to join the ROTC program because they help me a lot in paying for my other colleges. So I think after NMMI, I want to transfer over to college at A&M University, which is in Texas, and finish out probably getting my bachelor's degree.
That's great. One of the greatest things that NMMI offers junior college students is the early commissioning program, which is through the National Guard or Army Reserve. And students are able to commission as second lieutenants in 2 years when it normally takes them 4 years. So they come to NMMI, get their associates, get their commission, and then move on to a four-year university to complete their studies. Something else that we offer, of course, is the Service Academy Prep Program. So students that are interested in going to a service academy, we can help them get there. So again, all that information is on our website, www.nmmi.edu. And you can view the programs. You can see what a typical schedule is like for one of those students, and learn about the different programs. Cadet Walker, overall, what is the most important thing you think NMMI provided you so far?
I'd probably have to say the time management or the organization. I don't think I really had that when I came to NMMI, but as I progressed in my years, I realized as a freshman, it was just all different. And then I just kind of went on and realized that if I wanted to succeed here, I'd have to put my academics first and everything else in order. So just time management, really.
Yeah. What is one of the best memories you have as a cadet here?
I'd have to say last year, my senior year, I got to room with one of my really good friends. And then we also decided to join the ski club. And so we went skiing, and that was a really fun trip. I've never been, and my sister also went too. So that was really fun getting to see her ski for the first time. But yeah, I'd have to say the ski trip.
Great. Cadet Amaya, same question for you. What would you say is the most important thing NMMI has provided for you so far?
Definitely time management is a really big thing because I wasn't that well with my time before. Now I am. So yeah, that's a really big thing that I learned from this school.
And can you tell us a little bit about what your best memory as a cadet has been?
I think last semester when I was with my roommate, we stayed inside during a weekend. And this was when TAPS was at like 11:30. TAPS is like when our curfew is, and they play a song and no cadets are allowed out of the rooms after that. But during this time, we closed all of our shades in our room, and then we had a projector, and we just sat there and watched a bunch of movies while giggling and everything like that. That was a really good memory I have.
Great. Cadet Swope, what is the most important thing that you think NMMI has provided you so far?
Yeah, I like the same thing that Amaya said was definitely time management. I definitely learned how to schedule my time better. And also just, I feel like a lot of leadership skills kind of came with that. When I went to go back home to start working, I was able to just, get people together. I felt more calm being in a leadership role. And I felt like that, I was able to transfer what I learned from at the Institute back over.
Yeah. Do you have a good memory to share with us about your time here?
Oh man, a good memory. Yeah, I would have to say probably my freshman year when I had first came here. I just remember, being a small cadet, and I remember having my troop around with me, and we had a 21-day ceremony, which is a passing for all the new rats. When you first come here, you're called a rat, which is a recruit at training, and you go through a 21-day ceremony where basically, you go through all these obstacles and challenges, and you work together as a troop to complete it. I think my favorite memory from that was we were screaming the national anthem on the top of our lungs for the entire event, and my voice was just so dead after that event, but just all together, just everyone at the same time, just screaming the national anthem. This is too fun.
That does sound a little crazy. So to wrap up tonight, I have one final question for our cadets joining us, and that is why NMMI? So Cadet Swope, I will start with you.
Why NMMI? I would just say, just for NMMI, just for like the friendships and, just the education, the friendships and education, I would say for me.
Cadet Walker?
I'd have to say pretty much everything that we've been talking about. It just gives you a lot of different opportunities, whether that be with academics or sports. It changes you as a person in a good way and teaches you how to be a leader and just gives you a different kind of way of life. So those are two big ones.
And Cadet Amaya.
Probably the same thing everyone else has been saying, which is I definitely came here more for the education. That was one thing that sold me, and I was pretty much only going for the education. The military stuff wasn't really something I was interested in, but that was, I guess, just a bonus because it did add to the benefits that I got from this school. But I think NMMI is a really good option if you would like to advance in academics and also have the bonus of learning leadership skills and making really good friends.
Great. Well, thank you guys for joining us today. I really appreciate all your candor and funny stories. And thank everybody. I thank you everybody for watching us and submitting those questions. Again, please visit our website for more information. There's also contact information on there to be able to get a hold of us. We'd be happy to chat and answer any questions you have. Again, our deadline for spring applications is December 9th. And if you're interested in admission for fall 2023, we are accepting applications, and right now is actually the perfect time to apply to give us plenty of time to go through all the steps that we go through. Also follow us on social media to look at all the videos that cadets make, to look at pictures, to see what a typical day is for our cadets. Remember, you can watch this back at any time and watch past YouTube video lives that we've had and hear from other cadets, parents, staff members. And of course, if you know of somebody who is interested, please share this. Pass it forward to whoever you might think would benefit from it. Again, we do have open house events coming up, one November 11th and one on December 10th. Again, thank you everybody for joining us, and I hope you have a great night.